It's the Drunk Tank Podcast on a Friday night. I hope that you are feeling alright. But Bernie, he's got a beard, and Gus and Jeff, they're kind of weird. So open your ears and crack open a beer for the Drunk Tank Podcast. We've got so much to talk about. All the future red versus blue adventures. Oh, baby, it's gonna be so crazy tonight. Oh, alright, get ready for the drunk tank. Maybe there will be hot chicks on this time, but probably not, so you'll have to settle for Bernie.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth Drunk Tank.
My wife settles for Bernie every day.
Settle is a very good word.
So who was that, Gus?
That was our this week's theme song from Bolaranskamoo.
No way, Bo?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Bull. Long time
Long
problem
time,
user.
long time problem user.
He was one of the original guys back when we converted over to community site. He was like the first troll.
Yeah, he was like, he had to be like in the first 3 or 4 guys to get banned.
And how many times did you end up banning him, Gus?
And repeatedly, I don't know. I don't know. I think scientists are still working on that number.
Not that we don't have a foolproof banning system on our website, but yet somehow it's always the same mentality. Someone who will get banned from a website also is the kind of person who will go like through proxies in the Ukraine to come back to the site just to continue the rampage.
And rampage was definitely a good word.
Guess who is coming back though?
Who?
From banned land?
Who?
Hellslayer.
Really?
Do
Again?
you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
Are you guys
let's
okay
do
with
it.
that?
Sure, why not?
I personally like the kid.
He registers every damn domain name that has anything to do with Rooster Teeth. He registers.
Or like account with any like new networking site or anything new out
Yeah,
there.
like we have our twitter.com/roosterteeth because of him. And the nice thing about
we
it
go
is,
to him first.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I wonder if we have a Twitter account. Hey, Hellslayer, can we have a Twitter account?
No,
Oh,
no, it's not can we. It's Hellslayer. Do we have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
What have
Cool,
we been
thanks.
saying on that? Have we been updating regularly? Good. But we they had
How am I doing?
The Facebook vanity URLs just came in, and I actually had to go out and reach out to him and saying, look, please don't register anything because it'll get locked if you register a Facebook vanity name, and we won't be able to get it back from you no matter what. And he said, I understand.
I saw that people are already trying to sell vanity names on eBay.
That's retarded.
Yeah, apparently no bids.
I'm not on Facebook, but it doesn't seem like that is how you find people on Facebook. Like, you would never give that out. Would you?
Because it never existed.
But you think it's valuable to have Facebook.com/Gus.
Yeah, sure.
We have it on our site. And I
Did you
use
get
all
it?
The time.
No, I always get Sorolla.
We have it on our site too, but it's not. We don't think it's valuable enough that people would want to sell it ever. I mean,
Oh
it's
no,
not-
absolutely not.
No, unless, roosterteeth.com/mybach wants to sponsor us.
Maserati. No, but it's convenient, right? I mean, it's not. We don't do it because we think it's like an end-all, be-all solution to everything you want in social media. It just seems like it's a no-brainer kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, why didn't they have it set up that way to begin with?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely copying us. It's another example of big media
Absolutely.
stealing our ideas.
It is weird though, because I mean, Facebook is like this generation's current MySpace, right? It's like just the current big player in social media, and that's what MySpace really had going for them. Is every time you saw someone's address, it was always myspace.com/whatever.
Man, speaking of MySpace, did you hear about their layoffs?
Yeah, 33% or something.
Yeah, like 30%. I think it was like 340 employees let go.
Let's hope they laid off the embedded music player department. whoever it is that auto plays all that music on MySpace,
Or whoever approves their banner ads that start screaming at you and playing stupid Flash animations.
but what you just said though is that they laid off 30%, which was 340 something people,
Yeah.
which is terribly sad. But that means MySpace had 1,000 employees.
Yep.
Which also
Actually, I
I
take it
read
back.
a story that Facebook has 1,000 employees too.
I think after that number might be wrong then, because now that I think about it, I think after the layoffs still have 1,000 employees. So I think they must have had like
What?
13 or 1,400
I don't get
employees.
that. Like, not to disparage what they do, but we have a fairly popular social networking site, and we have you and Ben. Like, does it really take 1,000 people to run MySpace?
Yes, I've been meaning to talk to you about that.
You need 300 assistants.
I need 300 salaries.
Oh, okay.
So I guess before we go any further, I should comment on Joel's absence here at the Drunk Tank this week.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Thanks for letting us know.
Joel's absent.
Letting you know, Joel's not here. That's it.
Okay.
No, he's out in a conference call or something, and so we decided to start without him.
We were shooting on location today. Jeff, you weren't there for whatever reason.
I have a owie.
Yeah, and we were out at 5:30, second day in a row. We went out there, and there was a very simple shot they had to pull off. They're playing catch. I don't think I'm ruining anything, spoiling anything in the video by saying that. Nathan had to throw the ball to Matt. It must have taken 30 minutes.
I think they threw the ball 30 times, and the catch was successful twice.
Like, when you say the catch was successful, they're throwing a baseball, by the way, right?
Right.
Into
a baseball glove.
Can Nathan not get it there? Or does when it get near Matt, does he duck? I mean, what's so
Both.
difficult about playing catch?
Both.
You're
Both.
kidding.
Yeah, it was a transmission and a receiving error.
And I'm running camera, and because they're both in the shot, I was doing slate and running camera. Gus is running audio. So I have to rack, focus, and tilt and pan and catch this ball through the sky as it hits the glove and lands in.
Sure.
They would do 12 times, get it wrong. They would do it kind of right one time out of 13 times. And then Matt would go, "Did you get it?" I go, "I'm not sure." He goes, "You're not sure?" It's like, hey, dude, I can't be perfect every time while you guys can't throw a goddamn ball.
So are they just like the least athletic dudes on the planet?
It's
Matt
very
got
possible.
winded catching the ball. Catching the ball, he got winded.
How's that possible?
He was drenched in sweat and just like,
It was like 7 a.m. too, so you guys weren't. It couldn't have been too hot, right?
It was pretty humid, but yeah, it was weird.
Were they like a football field apart?
No, they were not at all. They were about 40 feet apart.
I wouldn't even give them that. I'd say they were maybe 30 feet apart.
It's like the first shot. It's like the first shot in the film, and they were in Matt's defense. He was like chest deep in these sunflower things, so he had to run through the sunflowers to catch it.
You should have just given up and had Nathan try to kick it in.
I said we should have got a 3-man slingshot and just fired it at
I
Matt.
can't. I'm really sad for the state of our office if Matt and Nathan can't throw a baseball and catch.
Joel actually shown though. Joel was the star of the
He
three.
showed it playing catch.
Yeah, he could throw a ball. He could throw a baseball.
Let me ask you a question, Gus. Can you throw a baseball?
Yes, while carrying the boom and all that shit, I had to throw a baseball to Nathan a couple times and
You were successful.
successful every time.
They might not be good at throwing a baseball, but I bet Matt and Nathan could play Barbies like nobody else in the office.
You really haven't seen ever Mad Matt, but Matt was mad today.
Yeah, he was.
What was he mad about?
But about us giving him shit about not being able to catch the ball.
Well, did he have a defense?
Yeah, what he said to me was, he goes, if it's
Matt
Matt goes, if it's so hard, you try it. I'm like, what is that, a threat? I have to go out and catch. Do you want to come in here and defend yourself?
You want to come in?
the video next week. Bernie running around an open field.
So Matt was pretty upset.
Man, I'm fucking exhausted from that. Like, just like waking up at 5:30. Man, I normally come to the office at 10, and I was here at 6 this morning. I thought I was in a nightmare.
I think it's awesome because I was like, I feel like we had a full day, and it's like, what time is it? It's 8:15 in the morning.
Yeah, we wrapped, and then we were like, oh, let's go to Waffle House, and everyone was like, oh, I don't know if we have time to eat breakfast. So we looked at our watch, and it was like, oh, it's 9:15. Yeah, sure, there's plenty of time.
It's like being in the Army.
Hey, since we're talking about stuff we're working on, I should probably talk about reconstruction, or excuse me, recreation for a little bit.
Sure.
Which is funny because it's I always, when I go to say it, I always want to go say reconstruction, and then when I'm always naming the files and moving files around on the server, I always mess it up and name it relocated because I'm still not in the mood of calling it recreation yet. But there's a lot of questions. I asked for questions in my journals, and I'm going to be posting like a separate audio commentary, like Q&A answer session for that.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, we just had the first actual episode of Recreation come out on Monday.
Yeah.
I thought it went really well. I was really nervous about the whole timed release thing.
You got a stomach ache and had to go home.
I was sick, with nerves from the whole idea of having everyone at the site at the same time. But it went surprisingly well. It went way better than I thought it would.
I was nervous about giving ourselves a 9 p.m. deadline and meeting it, and we fucking knocked it out of the park there. No problem.
Well, yeah, the problem I was also thinking of is if we don't meet the 9 p.m. deadline, then more and more people just jam up and bottleneck on the website.
Sure.
And just
I don't know what the fuck you guys are worried about. It was fucking breeze.
I know what I was worried about. It was 5:45, and you were like, should we re-record this audio and shoot one more scene for the end of the video?
Yeah, no. Well, that's the problem with Red vs. Blue production is we work up until the very last second, and so giving ourselves a hard deadline kind of scares me.
Well, the problem is you finished the video early, right? Like, we finished the video, we shot basically everything the previous week. And then it's just, what remains is editing and what we call the sweetening process when we go through with sound effects. You can always do more of that, you know? You can always just keep doing it. And, we came in on Monday morning and it was like, let's do one or two more edits. And then at 5:45, we're still editing, because we just want to make it better and better and better. And then you look at a joke, it's like, well, you kind of ad-lib in post-production, which is a really nice thing about Red vs. Blue, which we don't have on the live-action shoots. Is like when you're editing the live-action, you look at it, oh, it would have been funny if this guy said that there. In Red vs. Blue, if you think that, you can just jump in the booth and do it, in about 10 minutes.
Right.
One of the great things about machinima is that you can set up the exact same shot with the exact same weather and the exact same lighting, and it doesn't look like a reshoot in any way. And you don't get that on live action.
Yeah, like in this recreation episode 1, when you were doing the editing, you thought, wouldn't it be funny if Simmons had a line here? I went in, recorded it, you dropped it in, and then you're like, no, never mind, not that funny.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make the joke,
true.
look at it, and then be like, oh, never mind.
You also get great stuff like in the editing process that currently one of my favorite jokes in Red vs. Blue is the one that we kind of came up with when we were playing around, cutting in the video where Simmons is... what was he asking?
No, Sarge is talking about the Blutonians.
Oh, right.
It's not right to talk about a whole one person as an entire team. What would be appropriate? Blutonian? Blumen?
Right. Blutard?
Blutard? And he interrupts him.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the joke.
Thanks, Jeff.
I was trying to help you. I didn't mean to steal it from you there.
No, go right ahead.
But the way we did that was actually Simmons did not have 2 lines there. I just had him start the line, Sarge interrupts him, and then we just had the exact same footage and the exact same audio again to finish it.
There was another funny thing from that first episode that we haven't put out, where you cut together some of Caboose's audio and it sounded like he was singing a song.
That was fucked up.
The Still Not Telling You. You should give me that audio. I can put it like as a link here with the podcast.
It's when Caboose is walking away and Sim says, "What are you working on?" He goes, "Still not telling you." And the way Joel read it as Caboose, he goes, "Still not telling you, still not telling you." And it's like this weird loop that when I kept playing it back, it sounded like a beat from some like Euro trash electronica song.
It was stuck in my head all weekend. I was like walking around my house going, "Still not telling you, still not telling you."
It's the new honk honk.
But you know what's weird about that is that Joel couldn't hear it.
It was weird.
He didn't know what we were talking about because I kept playing it back to back and he didn't hear it. I saw Jeff was playing Ghostbusters earlier.
Hell yeah!
How was that game?
It's fucking awesome so far. And I had read some review stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Preview stuff.
Pre-review?
The pre-review preview. I'm a little out of it this week. I got a bad foot.
Oh.
Are you taking drugs for that?
No comment.
Are you taking prescribed drugs for that?
You know, people take lots of stuff for lots of things. I don't want to get into all
How'd
the
you
medical
fuck your foot up?
histories. I had taken my daughter to the river to go swimming for the weekend at a park, and I stepped on a big chunk of glass and it sliced the entire bottom of my foot open.
And I want to say I warned Jeff not to go.
You
I was
did,
like, don't go outside. Nothing good ever happens
Yeah.
outside.
Well, I didn't see any bears, but
You go outside Nazareth. That's about it.
That's weird because Matt talked to me about Jeff too, about jinxing and Jeff as well. Because when we uploaded the public version for the 9 p.m. release, sponsor version went out just fine. But as soon as the sponsor version started to go, we had to re-edit and re-encode the public version. Jeff goes, "Well, the episode's done. If it's cool with you guys, I'm just going to take off." So we said, okay. And as soon as Jeff walked out the door, the upload failed, and then the encode failed. And then we uploaded again, the upload failed, and the encode failed again.
Jesus Christ, really?
And so Matt said, Jeff is not allowed to say the episode's done ever again.
I wasn't aware of that, but I be sure not to do it again.
And so it's karma for your cut foot. You get a free episode fuck up.
Anyway, the previews for Ghostbusters that I read weren't that great.
Yeah,
Man,
same
it's
here.
a really fun game so far.
Really?
And I was wondering how well it would do. I picked it up at Best Buy last night, and I got the last copy at Best Buy, and the guy said that people had been like, there was a steady stream of people coming in and buying it all day, and he was amazed they had any left because he felt like every 10 minutes somebody bought Ghostbusters.
Wow. Is there multiplayer in that game?
Yeah. 4-player co-op, I think.
You know,
And online co-op.
we think of the video game buying season as being in the winter for
Right.
Christmas, but I mean, it seems like if you came out with a game the day summer started, you would dominate.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's how Madden does so well, right?
Oh,
In addition to being a great game.
Man's at the end of summer.
Is it? Like
Yeah.
July, August, somewhere around there.
It also makes me wonder
It's
why.
always summer in Texas, Gus.
True.
No kidding. It also makes me wonder why they don't have a kids movie out at all times.
There should be 52 kids movies a year released.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every week you have the option to go see a different kids movie. Exactly. I've seen Up now 3 times. Wearing thin. Wearing real thin. Partly
bet.
cloudy, that's short, still awesome. Up is like you really start to wonder like if it's a whole story. After seeing it 3 times, man.
Well, I think most people don't go watch it 3 times.
I think most people don't go watch it 3 times. I bet you're right. Unless you're under the age of 7 and you watch it 8,000 times.
And let me tell you, all the movie critics who are under the age of 7, terrible. They're always way off.
They don't get any kind of nuance at all.
Yeah, I really don't get it.
I like the part with the man in the boat.
That should be our new project, babyfilmcritic.com.
Babyfilmcritic.com.
That's a great idea.
Hellslayer, go ahead and register that.
We'll buy it from
We're
you
going
next
to need
week.
you to give it to us next week.
So speaking of being pissed off, I'm supposed to get my iPhone 3GS.
Yeah, congratulations.
I think it got delayed. I was supposed to get it tomorrow.
Yeah, the software update's today, but they delayed it a couple hours, right?
I don't think the software updates today.
It is today.
You mentioned that to me earlier.
Yeah, they. I read officially it's supposed to come out this afternoon.
So what's going
Yeah.
to happen with the software update? I can cut and paste?
Yeah.
What else?
Cut and paste.
You know what I'd like to be able to do on my iPhone?
Push notifications.
Which seems like, what's push notifications?
You can have like AIM and stuff like running in the background.
No, that's great. You know what I'd like to be able to do on my iPhone?
What's that?
Speaking of movies, I'd like to be able to silence it for 2 hours and not hard silence it with that damn switch. Because I always forget to take it off when I come out of a movie.
Right.
Every single time. And then the other thing I'd like to be able to do, which seems like a complete no-brainer, is to be able to play songs in the alarm in the clock.
That's a good idea.
I think both of those features are coming this afternoon.
Are they?
I have no idea.
They probably are.
I
They
don't
probably
think,
are.
I don't think either of those are.
Did you guys hear that feature they have where you find your phone, where you can, like, if your phone gets stolen, you can locate it?
Oh, the GPS
Yeah.
look at it
Yeah.
anywhere in the world?
Yeah. They should call that feature the get beat up by a bum feature, because you know there's going to be a lot of nerds, a lot of angry nerds getting their ass kicked in the back
Give me
alley.
back my phone. Yeah.
Look, you buddy, you took my phone.
I know you have it. The coordinates are right here.
It's ringing in your pocket.
Empty your pockets. Yeah, that'd be horrible.
Oh, that's another thing you can do. Also, as a side effect of that Find My Phone, even if your phone's silenced or set to vibrate, you can force it to play like a special tone
Really?
through the website. Yeah. So
What
that
is
way
that
if
tone?
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
So that way, if it's like lost in your house, you can force your phone to play that noise, and you can find it.
Yeah, as long as it's charged.
Well, yeah, you can't remotely charge it from the website. I'm sorry.
You're
Maybe
saying-
that'll come in OS 4.0.
You saying it doesn't defy the laws of physics? Fuck you, Apple. Fucking lazy pricks. Did you guys read about the bully who got, or the kid who confronted the bully?
Yo, yeah, I read that.
Did
No.
you read the story?
Yeah, it's terrible.
He confronted the bully. I didn't read the story. I kind of just read the headline and the summary, but you can correct me here if I'm wrong, guys. It was a guy who was being bullied, so he confronted the bully and stood up to him, and the bully stabbed him.
What?
Well, no, what happened was he confronted the bully. Then the bully got mad and told him he was going to stab him tomorrow. Then the next day, the bully brought a knife to school and was like, I brought a knife, I'm going to stab you. And then as they were walking home, he took out the knife and stabbed him in the chest.
Did he kill him?
No, he stabbed him in the chest. It punctured his lung. The kid then ran away for like 3/4 of a mile to a friend's house, and the friend's parents took him to the hospital.
Did the bully get suspended?
I think they can't say what's going to happen to him because of
He's
like
underage.
privacy.
Screw
yeah.
that. Screw that. If you stab somebody, I mean, that's an adult thing to do. You know,
Yeah,
once
you-
you're charged as an adult, you should.
I think they were both 12 years old.
12 years old.
Yeah.
Is it right to call a person? I mean, at that point, he's murderer, right? Like, or you know, I
Attempted murderer, right?
don't think bully applies anymore
I
once
think-
you're at that level.
I think the reason the kid stood up to him was the bully was like picking on some other girl. It wasn't like the kid wasn't even being picked on,
Oh man,
and so like the kid tried to step in and like tell the bully to stop picking on the girl.
are you serious?
Yeah, and he got stabbed.
Oh, so he was standing up for a girl and he got stabbed.
I hope he
That
get-
fucking
I-
that kid better get a blowjob and a
Yeah.
half from that girl.
I don't know, dude.
seriously.
He sounds kind of dumb.
he better get laid.
Sounds like somebody brought a John Hughes script to a knife fight.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Podcast joke of the year right there.
Yeah, that's definitely in contention.
Woo.
All right, well, we feel sorry for him and his family. Not so sorry for the bully who stabs people at 12 years of age.
God, terrible.
You read about the dude who killed 19 cats?
Oh,
Well,
another
they
kid, yeah.
think he actually killed 34, but they can only prove that he only did 19.
What? That's like, that alone is a serial killer conversation right there. You know?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
We can only prove the 19 that he killed. That's a fucked up kid, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know him. Allegedly, you know, he doesn't know me. I don't know him. It's all good, but that's kind of off the charts,
Man,
dude.
and then his mugshot was like even worse. Like he's like has that smug smirk on his face.
Dude, he looked like a totally normal kid to me.
Yeah,
He looked like any kid that you'd see in high school. Didn't have any kind of like weirdness about him at all, aside from the headline: "Killed 19 cats."
At least.
At least 19 cats.
not a kid, 18 years old.
Wow.
Wow. Why would you...
You just messed up, man.
Does he
Just messed
hate
up.
cats in particular?
I think cats killed his dad.
Oh, okay.
The
Well,
cats
see-
were bullying a girl in the neighborhood, and he was going to stand up for her.
These are like house cats, right? They're not mountain lions or.
No, they were house cats. He was like skinning them alive. And,
What?
like, throwing them on the
Okay,
on the
okay.
salons and-
Let's end this conversation. I got Space Ace on my iPhone.
Oh yeah, you were telling me that was fucking awesome.
Well, it's awesome from a nostalgia point of view because I played Space Ace in the arcade as a kid.
Hell yeah.
Those Don Bluth, those Laserdisc games like Dragon Slayer and Space Ace, they were actually kind of rare. Like they were in very specific locations, and you had to go play them.
You know, I just made the connection. You said I knew those were Don Bluth games. Don Bluth also he directed like All Dogs Go to Heaven and a bunch of animated cartoons, right?
We talked about
Yeah.
Don Bluth before because people were saying that someone here said that you couldn't tell the difference, or that the average person couldn't tell the difference between a Pixar movie and a DreamWorks movie. And I said they probably would be able to because people knew the difference between Disney animation and Don Bluth animation. They knew they weren't the same.
Yeah, but Don Bluth, I think he even worked at Disney for a long time and then
Yeah, I think so.
spun off his own company. American Tail, right? He did that too.
Yeah, he did American Tail.
Okay.
When I wanted to play Dragon Slayer growing up, I had to go to the Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
That was the place that had Dragon Slayer.
That's where I played Joust.
I'm sure you can pretty much name games to people who grew up during the arcade years, and they can tell you where they went to play every one of those games.
Hell yeah.
Like as a kid, you had a map in your head. Like your mom's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get my nails done here." It's like that's in the strip mall. That's got the arcade. That's got Space Zap and Crazy Climber.
Yeah, I loved going to that Pizza Hut because it was Dragon's Quest. Then right behind it was 1942. I could fucking entertain myself all day between those two.
What do you consider to be the rare game that you played that nobody else ever talks about?
I played. I mean, it's not really a rare game. I just don't really ever hear anyone talking about it. I played a Tecmo Bowl arcade version.
Yeah, it was a big wide one.
It was really wide, 4 players.
Yep.
You could like wiggle. Yeah, it was really fun.
John Elway's Quarterback was like a really rare game that I played where they had like a spring-loaded pass mechanism.
There was an arcade version of that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know there was a console version. Wow.
Yep. I think the rarest game that I played, though, besides stuff like Satan's Hollow, which is weird to see in like a pizza place, was Cloak and Dagger. I remember anyone ever playing
That
Cloak
was a
and
fucking
Dagger.
video game too.
Yep. It was based on the
That rings
movie.
A bell.
Yeah, you'd like play the level and then get to the end. What was your rarest one?
I don't know that I played any rare games, but the two games that I played constantly that nobody else I know played were Yer Kung Fu and I used to play Roston all the time. There was a Roston at the gas station by my grandparents' house.
I played Roston.
Yeah, but like if I ever bring it up, people are like, I remember that from the Sega, but nobody remembers playing it in the arcade.
Did you ever play Moonwalker in the arcade?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an arcade game. I thought it was a Sega Genesis game.
Yeah, I played that quite a bit in the arcade also.
It's so funny, too, because when you name the game, I can think of where I played that game and then all the other games that were at that place.
Yep.
I mean, this is decades later, and I can remember that stuff.
You know what's fucked up? I can still remember the very first time I ever saw Street Fighter 2 cabinet.
Really?
Yeah, it was at my 6th grade graduation at the Goldmine Arcade.
Now, is that the Street Fighter that had the pressure-sensitive buttons? Or was that just straight-up Street
No,
Fighter?
straight up normal first Street Fighter 2.
Did you ever see the original Street Fighter where it had the huge buttons and how hard you hit them was the fierce versus whatever jab? And
Yeah, they had that at the Walmart by my house, and I felt so ripped off that everybody else at school was playing Street Fighter 2, and I had Street Fighter.
I had to go. The only place I ever saw Street Fighter was at the Shakey's in San Angelo, Texas.
man, it's weird.
What the hell are you doing in San Angelo, Texas?
I had some family out there.
You know, I kind of miss that. I really do. I miss going into either a pizza place or a convenience store, because that's where video games were, where they were always in convenience stores, and they always had one or two, and you get all excited. I'll tell you, actually, since we're on the topic of Laserdisc games, probably the rarest game that I played that almost nobody played was a Laserdisc game called Cliffhanger, and it was based on Lupin, the Castle of Cagliostro.
Right.
What?
And yeah, it's really weird. And I never knew what Lupin was. I didn't know what anime was, but they had a Laserdisc game based on it. In fact, when I see him, I think he's called Cliffhanger.
Man, that's fucking weird. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'm sure you could look it up online and you could play. Like, you'd fight ninjas, and then you'd fight the dude at the end who looked like M. Bison and all this stuff. And it was one of the games that Laserdisc game I could play all the way through. It's the only one I ever spent the time and money to play the entire way through.
That's crazy.
Speaking of old arcade games, did either of you guys pick up any of the Sega arcade classics that they released on Xbox Live last week? They put out like 6 games, like Shinobi and Altered Beast, and
Oh, I would have picked up Shinobi. Alternate Beast always seemed dumb to me.
No,
Yeah.
I love Altered Beast.
I love Altered Beast too. Shinobi was one of my favorite games as a kid. I had it for the Master System.
They put out like Rolling Thunder. Was that a Sega game? That's kind of like Shinobi.
Yeah,
Yeah, the shooting one. Did they put that out?
I don't think they did.
I think Rolling Thunder has already. No, it hasn't. Never mind.
You want a cool retro title? on Xbox Live or Xbox Originals, you can download a game called Intellivision Lives, which is almost every single Intellivision game ever made, which is kind of cool. But even cooler is that they have like documents there, and they have like a story on each one, and they talk about how much it cost to make it. They tell you how many units it sold, so you can get a feeling for like how successful games were back then and what was a good amount of units to sell. And then crazy stuff like, because back in the day, you know, when they were making games back then, they made it on cartridges. To manufacture a cartridge is a lot different than burning discs, right? So they would finish the games before they finished the manuals and all that other stuff. And they had to finish it like, I think like 10 weeks before they actually had the release date. And they talked about the guy who made like B-17 Bomber. He was literally coding it right before they took it out the door, like adding stuff in. And back then they couldn't really test it. There was no testing involved. And so then they test it after it went off to manufacture, and they would write bugs into the manual as being good things that happen. Like, oh, if you get far enough, the screen will turn entirely purple and you win the game.
Congratulations.
It was just awesome. It was awesome to read about that stuff. It was like 10 people in that division in Mattel. Mattel went and said, hey, you guys should make a video game system. So they gathered up everybody in the company who had any kind of computer experience and just made Intellivision.
That's fucking awesome.
It was awesome. It was pretty cool. And it's a lot of fun just to read that stuff.
You know, I thought you were going to bring up, when you said that we were talking about arcade, I thought you were going to bring up that Wolfenstein 3D just came out, because I know you've been playing a lot of that.
Castle Wolfenstein.
And I just got my first like Community Hunter video in from fucking Brown Man, I think, and it looks like so much fun.
That was a good
It's a
video.
blast.
It was a good video. Yeah, he's a funny kid.
I was pretty entertained by his commentary.
Man, I wanted nothing more than to play that game after watching that video.
That's the first game ever that I played that I couldn't play for very long. So when I played it on my old 486, like I would get incredible headaches from staring at it.
Yeah. Yeah, there used to be a big problem with those games before they added in the Bob and stuff like that, where it's just streaming at you. Yeah.
Huh.
It was terrible. I couldn't look at it for more than 15 minutes.
Arguably, probably the game that shaped the most other games. Like, that generation of gaming that came after it, everything was based on Castle Wolfenstein 3D.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Did you ever play the original Castle Wolfensteins? The 2D, like, overhead things?
No,
I never did.
Auspass. Achtung. That's how I learned my German. Was from Beyond Castle Wolfenstein, it was called.
Really?
You could disguise yourself as a guard and like stab people. If you stabbed them, you wouldn't alert the other guards, but if you shot them, you'd alert the other guards.
The only German I think I learned from Return of Castle Wolfenstein was Mein Leben.
Dude, that's kind of creepy, dude.
Yeah, my life.
Yeah, my life. It's like you have a video game character, the Gestapo guys with the machine guns, and you shoot them and they scream, "My Leben!" They're screaming "my life" as they die. Like what have I done? My life! You've killed me! It's like, why don't they hand you a note to give to their daughter, or something like that? It's kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, totally.
Man, and then there's the guys who, you ever play Rise of the Triad?
Oh yeah. Do
Do you remember that game? It was like a Doom knockoff, like mid '90s, and they did do a thing where you'd shoot guys. They would literally fall to their knees and hold their hands up and beg for their life, and then you could choose to shoot them or not shoot them, or just walk on past them. And of course, everybody shot them.
Yeah, you gotta shoot him.
It was horrible.
And we wonder why kids kill cats.
No, that was before that kid was alive. I think Rise of the Triad came out in '92.
Yeah, that was just the thing that shaped his parents before they made him.
Well, did you ever see The Godfather 2, man?
No, I still never seen it.
Godfather 2 is what it's all about, man. Vendetta. They kill Vito Corleone's family.
Thanks.
Just so that's in the first 2 minutes of the movie. Dude, I can give a spoiler to a movie that came out in 1975 if you haven't seen it. That's the #1 movie on IMDb. You should see it. So, you guys ever play Swimmer? Ever play that game?
Swimmer.
How about Tubin? Which is
Tubin.
like,
I love
like Tubin,
Tubin.
yeah.
which is like the cooler cousin of Swimmer.
I don't think I remember Swimmer.
You ever play Crazy Climber?
Yeah.
They just came out with Crazy Climber for the Wii. I want to get that, but we got to import it from Japan. Can you do that? You just buy the game and it works?
I don't know if the Wii is region locked or not. Possibly.
So I'd have to buy a region encoded Japanese Wii.
Yep.
Go for it.
You think they're going to come out with a new Xbox?
I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of speculation over the weekend that they were going to, next year, when Natal launches, launch an Xbox that has Natal inside of it. But
See, I don't know what that means, because if you can use Natal on old Xboxes, it seems like it's just a peripheral you plug into it. Yeah, maybe they'll have a bundle where you can buy an Xbox with Natal in the box also, but...
Or they'll just have a Xbox that has Natal in it, So you don't have to have the peripheral.
Well, I don't like the idea. I like the idea of Natal being separate because I want to keep my console in an entertainment console and have the camera outside of it. I don't want to have to have my camera or my Xbox visible all the time. I got mad because I gave somebody a Griffball. We have to remain anonymous here. I gave someone a Griffball figure when I was up in Seattle, and he mentioned that somebody wanted to trade him the Griffball figure that he had now for a black chat pad. And I said, what do you mean a black chat pad? Where would you get a black chat pad? He goes, they were made as tests, but they never sold them. I was like, God damn it, you gotta be kidding me.
If anybody at Maybach is listening,
It was also a black memory card as
We
well,
would
wasn't
love-
No, there was no black memory card.
black chat pad would be amazing.
For my block, why would they come out with...
I was just joke because we always talk about Maybach.
it? I'd love to have a black Maybach.
How do we upgrade from Maserati to Maybach? I'm still keeping it real with Maserati here.
I'm shooting for the moon.
We're gonna get sponsored by like
Speaking of shooting the moon,
Go Metro.
Isn't NASA going to blow the moon up?
Yeah,
Yeah, fuck the moon.
they're gonna trigger a 6-mile high explosion on the surface of the moon to look
6
for ice.
miles high.
To look for moon ice, right?
Yeah, they're essentially gonna fire a booster rocket at the moon, then turn it on when it gets to the moon.
6 miles high. What? I mean, I guess because there's less gravity.
Right,
so.
right.
Dude, there's a whole site dedicated to bad physics on the internet. Not bad physics on the internet, but on the internet there is a website dedicated to bad physics, and it's called Heavy Boots, which is he based it on when you ask people about
I've seen it.
when you ask people about the moon and the people on the moon. It's like, how come the astronauts can bounce around up there? It's like, because there's no gravity. Well, then why didn't they fly off the moon? They had heavy boots. So it's his thing. It must be a physics student or something.
Yeah, he heard that discussion in a physics class, in a physics college course he was at once, if I remember the story properly.
And so his site is heavy. He's dedicated to heavy boots in physics.
That's pretty funny.
And you know what? If I was in NASA and I was going to set off a 6-mile high explosion on the moon, I wouldn't come up with a reason why I'm doing it. I'd be like North Korea. I'd be like, fuck it. We hate the moon. We're going to blow it up. And if you don't want us to blow up the moon, then you better start paying us money or something.
I don't like the way it looks at me.
It follows me at night, and I hate it. It's picking on a girl in my neighborhood, so I'm going to put up a 6-mile high explosion.
Oh man, it's like the start of a bad science fiction movie. I can't imagine what's going to happen.
Or a great science fiction movie.
Let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. They're going to knock it out of orbit. That's what's going to happen. 6 miles I mean, I know the gravitational pull of the Earth is enough. You can't really mess with it. They're going to fuck up. And they're going to knock it a little bit out of orbit, and that thing's going to hit the Earth.
That's how Thundar the Barbarian started. I don't know if you guys remember that cartoon.
The moon hitting the Earth is a big deal.
Moon went out of orbit, and the tides rose, and then it was post-apocalyptic, and they had giant horses, and you rode around like He-Man and fought stuff.
That's right. I forgot. I think I did not remember that at all until you just said that.
It was a great cartoon.
Yeah.
Did the moon hit the Earth?
No, it didn't actually hit it. It just like went out of orbit, and it caused cataclysmic
Didn't they also have like
destruction.
acid rain that would like melt
Yeah.
stuff, and they had
Yeah.
to like hide in caves from it?
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, like you would see like cars like getting hit with acid rain, and they would like melt down into
So
sludge.
the tides changing caused an apocalypse?
Pretty much. It was like all kinds of nonsense. I think volcanoes erupted because of the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, this is cartoon science, so I don't know how accurate it is.
Yeah, they
but-
probably didn't actually have a geologist on staff.
Yeah, they might not have.
He was at NASA trying to figure out how to blow up the moon.
I just got an AIM from Flash 2000 saying I should let everyone in the office know that the iPhone 3.0 OS just went online.
Sweet.
So you can all brick your phones now.
That sounds awesome.
Flash is better than... He's like knowing an RSS reader. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't subscribe to his AIM updates, but I get them.
Did you see the latest online petition that's taking the internet by storm?
I don't
It's
think
the
so.
petition to have David Letterman removed from television. It's got 30,000 signatures.
What are they trying to remove from television?
Well, he made that joke about one of Sarah Palin's daughters. He didn't specify, and then she got upset because she has a 14-year-old daughter, and he says he was making the joke about the 18-year-old daughter. Regardless, a very funny joke. And he apologized, and then that wasn't enough. So he came on and apologized a second time. Palin accepted his apology, but that's not enough for some senator and a bunch of wacky people on the internet. So now they're petitioning to have CBS have him taken off the air permanently, and they are boycotting all of CBS's advertisers.
Wow, 30%. That's almost 1/3.
Yeah.
1/3 of 0.1% of a point. Finch Lynch just aimed me also to tell me that iPhone OS 3.0 is out. Apparently,
Look at you.
Apparently, everyone needs to let me know as soon as it comes out.
So I can't...
And
How
the
do I...
Finch-
I don't even have an iPhone, and people are telling me that
Finch
it's
feed
out.
is slightly slower than the Flash feed.
We'll just take their word for it. Take about 2 years to download. We'll see. We'll, have them keep aiming you from their phone until they stop when their phone gets bricked.
I'll ask them to do that. So only 30,000 people on that petition.
So far.
How long's the petition been around?
I don't know.
I saw. Speaking of petitions and the iPhone,
No.
I saw
This is a great one.
There was another petition I saw that someone right after Apple announced the 3GS. You know, people who had the current iPhone 3G and still had more than a year on their contract couldn't upgrade, or they'd have to pay the full iPhone 3GS price.
Welcome to cell phones.
Exactly. So someone started a petition on Twitter. I think he called it a twitition, trying to get people to sign it to get AT&T to sell people under contract a cheaper iPhone 3GS. What the idiot didn't realize was that every time someone signed the petition, it sent a reply to him.
Yeah.
So on his Twitter page. So he got, like, in the span of 2 days, he got 18,000 reply Twitters on his page, and his Twitter account became useless. And he started asking people to stop signing the petition. He said, "I regret ever making this. I'm not even mad about this issue anymore. I just want to be able to use my Twitter account again."
I like that his Twitter account became useless. Mine was useless out of the box. Twitter is... I spend more time on tweeting too hard now than I do on Twitter.
That's a funny site.
It is very, very funny. Very funny. And I find myself following the people who end up on there because that's more interesting to me than making these ridiculous posts. They're great. And it's really... You know all the controversy over the Iranian election, right?
Yes. Right, yeah.
Well, it's very big on Twitter. Like, there are people are kind of talking about it. I mean, it's one of the trending topics. But I've started following people who are in Iran on the ground and are tweeting about the election and the protests, and it is such a disturbing disparity between all the people I normally follow and the Iranian people who are going through this basically revolution, where it's like gunfire, someone next door was shot, they think, here's videos of guys in police uniforms beating up a protester, we don't know if they're real or not, we're not really sure who the police are, things like this, and then, like, here comes... Hey, I just got new pics from Iron Man set, and stuff like that, and like eating pizza, It's just
How long do I have to stand in line for this caramel macchiato? It's ridiculous.
it's a little disturbing. It's like literally like you can see the blind eyes mixed in with all this other stuff, and it's just like, what do you do? What do you do?
All right. Well, we're getting kind of long here. So, is there anything anybody wants to talk about before we wrap it up?
No.
All right. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone.